Lynching, Its Cause and Cure, Hubert H. 1920. Last week, we had occasion to comment on the resignation of Mr. John R. Shalady from the secretaryship of the NAACP. Mr. Shalady's statement accompanying his resignation contains these significant words: I am less confident than heretofore of the speedy success of the association's full program, and of the probability of overcoming within a reasonable period the forces opposed to the Negro equality by means and methods which are within the association's power to employ. That the NAACP is not likely to affect the lynching in this land can be seen with half an eye by anyone who is willing to note that Governor J.A. Burnquist of Minnesota is also president of the St. Paul branch of the association and one of the staunch supporters of its works. That the Minnesota lynching of last week was one of the most cynically brutal that has occurred in the north of the South in the last 10 years. And that the association has offered and is offering to give the governor all assistance possible. In most of the other cases of lynchings, it is assumed that all the officials were in collusion with the forces of violence, or were at any rate in acquiescence. In the present case, however, the governor of the state himself, a higher officer of the association, yet we venture to prophesy that no more will be done in the case of Minnesota's lynchings than in the case of the lynchings further south. This leads us to a front-face consideration of the problem of lynching. Why do white men lynch black men in America? We are not dealing here with the original historical cause, nor even with its present social application. We are considering merely the efficient cause. White men lynch black men or any other men because those men's lives are unprotected either by the authorities of the Commonwealth or by the victims themselves. White men lynch Negroes in America because Negroes' lives are cheap. So long as they so remain, so long will lynching remain an evil to be talked about, written about, petitioned against, and slobbered over. But not all the slobber, the talk, or the petitions are worth the time it takes to indulge in them, so far as the saving of a single Negro life is concerned. What, then, is the cure? The cure follows from the nature of the cause. Let Negroes determine that their lives shall no longer be cheap, but they will exact for them as high a price as any other element in the community under similar circumstances would exact. Let them see to it that their lives are protected and defended, if not by the state, then certainly by themselves. Then we will see the cracker stopping to take counsel with himself, and to think twice before he joins a mob in whose gruesome holiday sport he himself is likely to furnish one of the casualties. Let Negroes help to make murder costly, for by so doing, they will aid the officers of the city, state, and nation in instilling respect for law and order into the minds of the worst and lowest elements of our American cities. The law of every state says explicitly that the killing in defense of one's own life is strictly proper, legal, and justifiable. Therefore, if Negroes determine to defend themselves from the horrible outrage of lynching, they should have the support of every official and every citizen who really believes in law and order and is determined to make the law of the land stand as a living reality among the people that made it. July 1920.